After being scratched on Tuesday, Arber Xhekaj came out with a monstrous performance on Wednesday night. He was asked about the scratch and his response was incredibly mature. We're going to be talking about that, plus a quick look into some advanced statistics that show that Brendan Gallagher is the unluckiest player on the Habs roster. Finally, we have a Lane Hutson Habs prospect update and a crazy stat that'll surprise you, so you won't want to miss this edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to today's news edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, alongside my co-host, Jesse Poirier. And quickly before we get into the video, a reminder that about 73% of you guys watching these videos are not subscribed. We're going for 5,000 subscribers. Hopefully by the new year, if we can do it. We want you guys to hit that button. Tell anyone that you know that might enjoy this content to hit it too. And we have your back with daily Montreal Canadiens content. All right, Jesse, our first topic today. Arber Xhekaj is a difference maker for this team. Now, of course, he was scratched on Tuesday night for Jordan Harris and Chris Wideman as Xhekaj and Caufield took to the bench. A lot of Habs fans understood the move. We have so many defensemen now with Mike Matheson coming back, but we really missed his physicality against Buffalo. But he came back against Columbus, and what do you know? Montreal's defense stepped up. We locked in, we locked him down, and Xhekaj was physical. We dominated on both ends of the ice. I mean, what has your opinion been on Xhekaj's contribution to this team so far?
Well, there's a reason that he's a fan favorite here in Montreal. And us being Montreal Canadiens fans, Habs fans, we're some of the most hockey savvy fans in the entire league. So there's a reason why he's a fan favorite, is because he is a tremendous hockey player. And I'm so happy about his game last night. Now, I don't know if I'd call it a response game, but he definitely did send some messages to, I think, a lot of people, to Marty St. Louis, to members of his fellow D-Corps, and also to us as fans. But let's face it, Josh, most of us, we didn't want him removed out of the lineup because we already know what he brings to this team.
For sure, he brings a ton of physicality. He brings some rookie mistakes every now and then, but he brings a hard shot too, and he's managed to score 3 times this season. And we have a quote from him, actually. He was asked about being scratched after last night's game. Quote, "We got 8 good players here. I don't take any offense to it. I'm still young. I'm still learning. I let them decide, and I'm just here to show up." Arber Xhekaj getting benched yesterday. And I thought this was super mature. And this isn't the first time this season we've looked at an Arber Xhekaj statement, as I'm going to bring up some of his stats this season so far. And not the first time we've looked at one of his statements and said, wow, this kid is really mature. I mean, he's really stepping up to his role this season. He has 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points in 15 games, 20 block shots, and 62 hits, averaging about 15 minutes, 16 minutes time on ice. He's made a huge impact for this team, and Jesse, I don't think anything stands out more to me than his maturity, but also his physicality, his physical presence.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into our second topic today after Arber Xhekaj. We got some interesting stats here, Jesse. I got these charts I'm going to bring up. And I went digging on Money Puck today. And for those of you that don't know, Money Puck is probably the best website for advanced NHL stats. And it's my go-to for anything I ever need to know when it comes to advanced stats. But take a look at this. It might be a bit small here, but you can see this is a plot of expected goals. Their advanced metric of how many goals you're expected to score. Pretty simple, right? Plotted through time. And you can see that Brendan Gallagher stands out among the rest as being consistently the highest expected goals on the Habs, which means that theoretically he should lead our team in goals. We see Caufield just below, makes sense. Dach, Anderson, Monahan, Shore, Hoffman, and Suzuki. All right, but Brendan Gallagher is right at the top, and he's far and away the top guy here. Jesse, have you been feeling the same way that Gallagher is really unlucky? Because I've certainly felt it, but these stats seem to prove it.
Well, I mean, he's doing all the stuff that we still expect from him. He's going to the front of the net, and of course you love the guy. I mean, I'm so happy that we have Brendan Gallagher on the Montreal Canadiens, because it's so rare to just have someone that's just bringing their full effort every night, just really bleeding, sweating for their team night in, night out. So I'd really like to see him get some goals just to compensate for all that effort that he's been making. I think it's really what this team really needs, and I'm so happy to see those stats. Just because, you got to feel like the law of averages, like we always mention, that with Brendan Gallagher, this applies to him. Is at a certain point, it's just when it rains, it's going to pour for Brendan Gallagher. All those goals, all those points are going to kind of come in all at once. Because if you play that type of game where you're going to the front of the net, you're making things happen, you're playing with effort, after a while, just things will definitely start to go your way.
For sure. And let's not forget that him and Dvorak have been pretty much staples together, but like, even then, we've seen him shift around a lot, different line mates. He really hasn't had a consistent home on a line this season. Recently, again, it's been Dvorak, but even that left wing spot has been interchanging game in, game out. I have another chart here to show it's sort of a similar look. This one's a little bit different, so it doesn't show, but the x-axis here, the horizontal axis, is the expected goals, and the y-axis is the actual goals per game for this player. So you can see Caufield averaging 0.4 goals per game. Pretty simple, right? And you can see Suzuki's up there because they have about the same amount of goals. Matheson with 1 goal in 3 games. He's at 0.33 goals per game. But look at Gallagher. He falls almost into that no finish / unlucky category where his expected goals are super, super high, the highest on the team, but he just can't put them into the net. I mean, this graph makes a ton of sense after, with the eye test too, with Xhekaj down there. He shouldn't have very high expected goals, but some of his shots have been seeing eye, making their way through. But guys like Suzuki, Caufield, even Anderson there and Dach, pretty high expected goals they're putting in. But Gallagher, for his expected goals, he's really not putting the puck in, and I don't know if it means that he needs new line mates, if he just can't finish, but to me, the eye test, it feels like he's just been really unlucky, and like you said, Jesse, I think the floodgates will open, and we might see some more Gallagher goals very, very soon. Our final topic today, pretty quick video today, but our final one here is an insane Lane Hutson statistic, and if you've been watching the channel, you know that me and Jesse, we love Lane Hutson. I mean, he's a 5'9", 5'10" defenseman. I think I've said 5'7" in the last video. I was wrong. He's 5'9", and some measurements have him at 5'10" now, so he's growing. He's still light. He's still only about 160 pounds, but he's a fast offensive defenseman playing at Boston University. And check this out, Jesse. With 2 more goals last night, Lane Hutson is up to 14 points in his first 12 NCAA games. Remember, he's a defenseman. Good for a 1.17 point per game rate. If he maintains that pace, it would be the highest scoring rate by an under-19 defenseman in the NCAA since Brian Leetch in 1986-87. Brian Leetch was elite. That kind of company is incredible. I believe Hutson is outscoring Adam Fox in their same age seasons. Jesse, what has your impression been of Lane Hutson, and what do you think of this statistic?
I'm just so excited about it because I know he's going to be so good in Marty St. Louis' system where we like to favor offense, we like to score goals, and it also remedies another problem that we've had now for a couple years with the Montreal Canadiens, and that is the power play. Yes, I do believe that Lane Hutson could be that quarterback on our power play that we've been looking for so long. Just the fact that we got this player not in the first round, not even at the beginning of the second round, late in the second round. Like, just looking at all these players that we've gotten from this most recent draft, it's absolutely spectacular, and he might be one of the best of all of them.
Yeah, so far, he might be the most impressive. I mean, him or Owen Beck, they've both been incredible, and they're both second-round picks. Like you said, our first overall selection, Slafkovsky, we picked 26th in the first round with that pick from the Toffoli trade that landed us Philip Machar. But our second round, Owen Beck early in the second and Lane Hutson late in the second, are both looking like potential home run picks. I'm just extremely excited to see what Lane Hutson can do at the next level. And not only him, like Hutson and Mailloux both look like they could be power play staples on the blue line for Montreal in the future. So we have a lot to look forward to. Keep an eye on Lane Hutson. Go watch his highlights if you haven't already. If you haven't, I don't know what you're doing, because if there's one Habs prospect that you want to go watch some, exciting highlights, some very interesting highlights to get hyped for a player, it should be him. But that'll do it for this news edition of Habs Digest. If you liked the video, leave it a like. Please subscribe to the channel. We're going crazy with subscribers. You guys love the content we're putting out, and we love making it. I'm Josh Gosse for my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next video.